Hello, my name's Tom Carhill. It's the 5th of September 2014. It's a Friday. This is an update on the Thomas Sheridan list of things I've been doing on this Thomas Sheridan. As I've said, Thomas Sheridan hasn't really put a massive foot wrong. He's just a bullshitting idiot. And in the fact that he plays on his Paddy McPhilosopher side, it particularly sickens me because I'm Irish descent, and wankers pretending to be philosophers from Ireland just do my head in more than anything else. They really do. They fucking sicken me. And the fact that people are taken in by them and they really play on it as soon as they get out of Ireland, it's very, very, very annoying. Basically, one of Thomas Sheridan's things in his book that he says about psychopaths is that you can tell them by the finger length, right? Now he says, right, a ring finger being longer than an index finger, right? Now, if you look at me there, it's quite clear that my ring finger on both sides is longer than my index finger. Now, this is not only a completely ridiculous concept about whether somebody's a psychopath or not. Most men have a longer ring finger than an index finger, and in fact, and this is linked to some other things that are very prevalent at the minute, women who've got a ring finger that's longer than their index finger normally aren't women. It's genetically very unusual. It's like having a woman who has a baby boy who's shorter than her, who grows to be shorter than her. You know, unless something really bad happens to them, you know, some real something external comes in to stop them growing taller, they'll always be taller than their mother. Come to the mother's side, the male offspring will always be taller. And I've only ever come across one kid who was actually shorter than his mum, and you know, for all I know, they could be adopted. But I don't think he was adopted. But that's a different story. But yeah, so it can happen, but it's extremely rare. And there'll be some important reason behind that. Anyway, so if you look there, look at my hands, right? Ring finger, quite clearly longer than my index finger. Now, linking it to this ridiculous androgyny thing that seems to have something to it. Michelle Obama, her ring finger is longer than her index finger. Kate Middleton, ring finger is longer than her index finger. All of these freaks who they're putting in front of you and saying that they're like, you know, important people for, you know, like these kind of elites are pushing out as people who've just, you know, people to admire, people to look up to. Quite a few of them, I'm actually starting to believe it. They might actually be men. They're transsexuals. And yeah, I think with Kate, some of the pictures I've seen, like the one where she's bent over and her bum doesn't look like a woman's bum. It looks like a man's bum. Although I can't believe it myself. And lots of the pictures of Michael Obama, you know, and obviously Barry Obama, he is a homosexual. There's no question of that. All those people he's killed trying to cover that up, he's definitely a homo. There's no question of that. There is no question. So Thomas Sheridan, he's just full of shit. It's just quite interesting that he brought it up because one of the things was someone I sometimes speak to was doing this analysis of how lots of people do, you know, the Masonic M sign. When they do photos, they do the Masonic M. You know, where you hold these two fingers together. Often not completely together, but the whole point is they don't go together naturally. You have to push them. It has to be a voluntary movement. Sometimes if you're actually holding on to something like like a sort of like some flowers or a glass that comes out, you end up putting your hands like that. But otherwise, it just never happens. If you try and do it, you'll realise. But yeah, it's funny because he had pictures of Michelle Obama up, and she's doing this Masonic M sign. But not only is she doing a Masonic M, she's quite clearly displaying that her fingers are longer. You know, the wrong fingers are longer than her index finger is shorter than her ring finger on both hands. Okay, so my name's Tom Carhill. It's Friday, the 5th of September 2014. By the off chance that I'm wrong about this women having longer fingers business, everybody I've looked at and had checked it out on, it does appear that it's true. But I mean, you never know. Maybe I've got that wrong. Okay, but anyway, Thomas Sheridan's saying it's a sign of a psychopath. What a fucking bell end. All men that I've ever looked at have all got those fingers longer. And this is the thing: if you link this into the fact that some of the hilarious things that he's said, you know, on his kind of basically he's one of these people who, whenever he thinks he's got a predominantly female audience, he starts talking about sex, yeah, and he's just constantly trying to make out that. I don't know what it is. I think he's basically trying to crack on to married women who aren't happy with their husbands. So if that's the case, if he's going on about that finger's meant to be shorter than that finger, and these women will go, oh, my husband, you know, like if they're taken in by him, they're not going to check this, are they? So this could be an even more snidey or underhand part of his quite hilarious behaviour. If he said half of those things he's said on Facebook, I mean, I think it's hilarious. But, you know, like, it's hilarious in a creepy way. You know, things can be funny and creepy. They are very, 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 very funny, some of the things he said. But anyway, the narration that I did from the SOTT.net article covers all that. There's going to be lots more stuff come out about this guy. I'm not endorsing SOTT.net. I don't know. Some of the language in that doesn't quite add up. They keep talking about Nazi fascists. You know, they don't mention like communists and socialists. You know, they try and make out everything. You always got to be suspicious of these people. Anyone who blames things on Nazis when they mean, you know, communist, they're always using. I don't know. They might just be ignorant, but I don't know. Anyway, thanks very much. I'd like to know what you think. Because I said, I'm just stating this because what he's saying is bollocks. It is definitely bollocks, and it could be very divisive if he's using it to try and turn women off their husbands to make them think they're psychopaths. That is very possible. That would be a very low sort of obvious con man trick once you know what he's up to. But the other side to it about the women with the longer ring finger than index finger, that's something which I'm not so sure about. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.